So I have a question. Where do you, so what the scenario at the beginning, the scenario you described is you look at the search term in the search query performance,
Yep.
and then you identify those where you have a high percentage of the brand impression share, right?
Yep.
So what that means is Amazon decided that your listing content had useful information relevant to that particular search term. So therefore, they rank you high. And of course, when you rank high, you get more of the clicks.
Yep.
Thus, the brand impression share is much higher. So the scenario is take those search terms where you have high brand impression share, and then go check who is the competition for that same search term. And then try to get even better, so that way you basically steal their share of the impressions, right? So that's the goal. So my question is, how do you tell us the practical way to see who else is coming up on those search terms? What's the best way?
Yeah. So, I mean, one tool I like is honestly like using Jungle Scout and Cobalt for looking at share of voice. You can plug in a search term and see immediately kind of like who has share of voice on that search page, which is a pretty simple. You leverage Seller Central, you build your list of terms, and you see your brand share, and you can start seeing maybe you thought your brand share would be a lot higher for a term either you've been spending on, or you just assumed it is baked into the SEO of all your listings. And you go, wow, that, maybe my brand share is 20%, and that looks pretty low to me compared to some of my other branded or kind of like uh, very closely related search terms. And then you can, pivot to some of those third-party tools to really help you understand exactly. You can also just straight go to Amazon and start searching them on your machine. That's obviously the cheapest way, a little bit more manual, and a little bit tougher to track over time, which is where those tools become really helpful, where they can automatically kind of like track some of these share of voice metrics on specific keywords over time, so that you don't have to do it as manually. But hey, like,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like jump in, get your hands dirty, and try it, and you can always do that, just playing around and
And
go into
what
the
do you
search
do
page yourself.
once you determine, okay, let's say that you have 3 other ASINs that are coming up regularly, which means
Yep.
that taking. So what do you do with it?
Yeah, you can. Great question. You can another piece with the search query performance is it can help you understand like where you may have some SEO gaps in your listings. So you can start to fine tune the creative or fine tune the copy of your listing to help you start to organically rank better. You can also, obviously talk to if you have a PPC team or a marketing team internally. You can talk to them and say, hey, this search term is really, really crucial for us. I understand that the ROAS might not be quite where we want, but we really want to try and get our kind of like brand impression share higher on these 5 or these 6 keywords, because they seem to be the ones that are driving XYZ bestseller badge or whatever the tactic is that you're trying to deploy. Sometimes you have to, that's again, I was part of the product launch team at Thrasio, and that's one of those conversations you'd always have is like coming out of the gates, things aren't going to necessarily look super great on paper because you're trying to get a new product out there, and you have to do a lot of things that don't look very profitable, but you need to do them in order to get that velocity and get that organic rank going, so that then you can over time start to peel back hopefully on some of your PPC, so that you aren't solely dependent on marketing all the time.
Yeah. So ultimately identifying those other ASINs that are taking brand share from you, impression share from you, you want to compare your SEO performance against theirs. which means their content versus your content. And then also another thing is conversion, of course. So on that particular search term, if they are converting better than you, then obviously Amazon is going to give them more of the impression share. So you want to compare their visuals, whether it's their video or their pictures, their A+. So it's simply you try to do what they do, which is where they are sharing the top spot with you. So the more you do better in the area that they are doing better, so that's going to get you more.